Hi grade 6, good morning. So today I'm going to walk you through with what we'll be doing. Alright, so if you're on your main page right here, you will see Phantom Tollbooth Act 1.pdf. Now you're going to click on this right here. So click on this and the book comes up. Now there's a couple things you can do. You can download it, and so you can look at it in a different format, or you can read it right here in Teams. So for example, if I click download, it will appear in my downloads on my computer, and I can open it up in like Adobe or on the web. Now since the font is kind of small, I'm going to zoom in here maybe to 150% or even 200% so I can see it really well. Now meet Susan Nanus. So she is the author of the play, The Phantom Tollbooth. Now the play is actually based on a novel that was written by Norton Juster, but the play was written by Miss Susan Nanus. So in drama, the person who writes the play is called the playwright. So she is the playwright. Now notice the title is The Phantom Tollbooth. Phantom is a word that means ghost. It comes from French. Tollbooth is a big stand where people pay money to drive on a road. So in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, they have the toll gates. Well, this is a toll booth. A booth is where a person can sit inside. Okay, so it's like the ghost toll booth, the phantom toll booth. Now let's read about Susan Nanus. She's the author. So she's written many award-winning scripts. You can see in 1997, this means she's been doing this for a very long time. She won the Writers Guild Award for the best original script for a television drama. Alright, so writing adaptations. So like other screenwriters, Susan Nanus, she took a novel, a book, and made it into a play. This is called adaptation. So her script from The Phantom Tollbooth was adapted from the novel by Norton Juster. Where does Nanus live? She lives and works in the United States, in Los Angeles, California. So let's see some background. Background for the drama. The names of the characters in the places of the Phantom Tollbooth describe their qualities. For example, there are some characters named lethargarians. Lethargarians comes from the word lethargy. Well, lethargy just means like you're lazy, you're tired, you don't have any energy. And these characters are a symbol of a type of person, of someone who's lazy, who doesn't like to do much work. So what do? They spend their days just being lazy and lounging around. There are two names of cities. One's called Digitopolis, and the other's Dictionopolis. So Digitopolis, think of polis, it's a word that just means like city. So it comes from Greek. Ancient Greek. So digit is a word that means number. So it's literally the city of numbers. Diction, think of the word dictionary. Diction means words. So Dictionopolis is the city of words. So what we have here in this play are two worlds. The city of language and words and letters, which is Dictionopolis, and the other world, the city of numbers and math, Digitopolis. And then the main character is a young boy named Milo. Alright, now in a play, it's different than a novel. In a play, there's the cast. The cast are all the characters that appear in the play. And when they write this, they don't write it on who's most important, although most oftentimes that's the way. They write in the order that they appear. So you know, we're going to see the clock first, then we're going to see Milo, then the weatherman, then the lethargarians, then Talk the watchdog, who's actually the same character as Clock, but we don't know that yet, and so on. And so you can see the last character we'll meet is this guy, the census taker. Okay, the set. Now, a play is meant to be performed in front of a stage with actors, almost like a movie or a television show. So you have a set. A set is the construction on the stage. So for example, let's say I want my play to take place in a forest. but I have to bring it to a theater. I can't bring a forest. So maybe I'll bring a tree and a sign that says forest. That's my set. So the first set we get to is Milo's bedroom. Now set, notice it sounds like setting. Well, that's related. Setting is just time, place, and weather. So where does it take place at? In Milo's bedroom. So what is on the set to show the setting? Well, there's shelves, pennants, pictures on the wall, and suggestions of the characters that appear in the play. Then we get to the road to the land of wisdom, to Digitopolis, and then we get to the end, to the climax of this play, where we get to the land of ignorance. So these are the sets that appear in this play. Now here we are in Act 1, Scene 1. Okay, so this part right here, these are stage directions. So like, you don't actually speak them in the play. Like, it's something that you read to understand how to act the play or how to create the set. So Act 1, Scene 1, the stage is dark and silent. Suddenly, the sound of someone winding an alarm clock. So think of like an alarm clock. It's winding. And after that, you hear a ticking. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Lights up on the clock. There's an alarm clock. The clock reads 4. The lighting, so 4 o'clock. So what time do you get home from school? Well, you get home from school, you leave school at 2:40. Maybe you have an ECA or something after, and you stay till 3:30. So pretty much everybody's getting home by 4 o'clock. So Milo's the same. The main character is a boy who's about your age. He's about in grade 6, and he gets home from school, and he's sitting by himself in his room, and he's bored. He's always bored, actually. This is the thing about Milo. So the lighting should make it appear that the clock is suspended in mid-air if possible. In other words, the stage should be dark. So imagine a dark stage. The clock ticks for 30 seconds. So 30 seconds, blank stage. Tick-tock, 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 tick. For 30 seconds. See? So now the character speaks. Who's the character? The clock. The clock actually is the character. The clock is speaking. And he says, "See that? Half a minute gone by. Seems a long time when you're waiting for something to happen, doesn't it?" Funny thing is, time can pass very slowly or very fast, and sometimes even both at once. The time now? Oh, a little after 4. But what that means should depend on you. So what he's talking about here is, okay, when you get home from school at 4 o'clock, what do you do? Do you eat? Do you talk to your parents? Do you play? Do you go outside? Well, you can't probably go outside now. Everybody's stuck in their houses, and you're not going home. You're not going home from school right now. But assume it's a normal day and there's not a worldwide pandemic happening. You get home at 4 normally, and what you do with your time, it depends on you. So that's how this starts out. So basically, it says too often we do something simply because time tells us to do. What do you have time for? Time for school, time for bed. Whoops, 12 o'clock. Ah, I'm hungry. Time to be hungry. It can get a little silly, don't you think? But time is important. But it's what you do with it that makes it so. So imagine, for example, you're in your class, you're at home, and your teacher says, okay, you have this to do, you have something to do. And if you waste your time, you're not going to be able to do it all, right? So that's what this is about. How you use your time. So this is my advice to you, is to use it. Use your time. Keep your eyes open, your ears perked. Otherwise, it'll pass before you know it, and you'll certainly have missed something. Things have a habit of doing that, you know. Being here 1 minute, gone the next. In the twinkling of an eye. Like this. In a jiffy. Jiffy means something that goes fast. In a flash. So now he's going to continue. Now this is called a monologue. Okay, everyone repeat with me. Say monologue. One more time. Monologue. Alright. Mono means one. So there's one person speaking. Now this is a long speech by this person, right? So this little clock is just going on, but it's setting up the story. It's telling us kind of where this is going to go. So then the clock is going to tell some anecdotes. Anecdotes are a little story that are often humorous. So he says, I know a girl who yawned and missed a whole summer vacation. And what about the caveman who took a nap one afternoon and woke up to find himself completely alone? You see, while he was sleeping, someone had invented the wheel and everyone had moved to the suburbs. Okay, this is using humor. Alright, obviously there's not a girl who's just gonna yawn and miss her vacation. It's just showing that, like, if you don't pay attention to what's happening around you, you're not engaged in your environment, you miss things, you miss life. So that's what he's talking about. So, and then of course there's Milo. Milo is a young boy, again, who's always bored, not really interested in anything, and he finds it hard to concentrate. So do you know anybody like that? Are you like that? Hopefully not. So we get lights up to reveal Milo's bedroom. His stage directions, again, these are not red. So on our stage, the lights go on now. So the clock appears to be on a shelf in the room of a young boy. So this is Milo's room. This is the first set that we learned about. These are all the stuff that Milo has. Think of like your room. You probably have books, toys, games, papers, all this stuff. Well, that's what he has. He has a dartboard where we throw darts at with numbers and the face of the math magician. So in his room, there are all these objects that are actually the characters that we will meet in the play. So imagine in your room, if you have a pillow, random pillow, and then all of a sudden, there is a pillow in your dream or something, and it's like a character. It's talking. Well, that's similar to this. Okay, so let's go on. So these are just saying all the stuff that's in a room. Now we can hear the sound of footsteps. So who do you think this is? It's Milo. He enters dejectedly. Dejectedly is a new word for you. It means like he's not really happy. He's kind of down, maybe depressed, a little upset, and he throws his books down in his coat, flops on a chair, and sighs. A sigh is this. Everybody this. That's what he does. So then the clock is still speaking. So even though we see Milo on stage, it's the clock who's speaking. So the clock continues, who never knows what to do with himself, not just sometimes, but always. When he's in school, he wants to be out. When he's out, he wants to be in. So during this speech, Milo, he's looking around his room, at his toys, at these things that actually are going to be the characters in the play. Wherever he is, he wants to be somewhere else, and when he gets there, so what? Everything is too much trouble or a waste of time. Books? He's read them. Games? Boring. TV? Dumb. What's left? Another long, boring afternoon. Unless he bothers to notice a very large package that happened to arrive today. So in his room, everything is like normal, and then boom, there's this package, a big package, a box. So take Milo. He notices the package. He drags himself over to it. And he's not even interested in this. Like, he's just like, for Milo who has plenty of time, he says, well, that's true. He says, he looks at it. No. He walks away. Well, he wasn't even going to open this. Imagine if a big package opens up in your room. You'd probably be interested, right? Milo, to him, everything is boring. Even this big box. So a voice then appears. A random voice. The voice says, one genuine turnpike toll booth easily assembled at home for use by those who have never traveled in lands beyond. So what does that mean? It means there's a toll booth. A turnpike is a type of road, and it's for people who don't travel, who don't go anywhere. And Milo says, beyond what? And he reads more. So as he's reading, the voice is actually speaking. The package contains the following items. So Milo pulls the items out of a box. He sets them up. One genuine turnpike toll booth to be erected according to directions. So that's the toll booth. 3 precautionary signs to be used in a precautionary fashion. Now, precautionary just means to prevent harm or danger. So, for example, a precautionary measure not to get the coronavirus is to stay away from people, stay home, stay in your room, watch this video. Anyways, precautionary. So, assorted coins for paying tolls, one map, strictly up to date, showing how to get from here to there. Now, a map. You people probably don't even look at maps that much unless you're like in your geography class with your geography teacher, or your social studies class with your teacher. But today we have GPS, right? Well, a long time ago there was no GPS. We had actually a paper map that you had to follow as you drove. So, anyways, continues. One book of rules and traffic regulations which may not be bent or broken. Warning, results are not guaranteed. If not perfectly satisfied, your wasted time will be refunded. So basically he's saying, okay, you want to do this, that's cool. If you don't want to do this, that's cool. It's up to you. Now, Milo, skeptically, like he's not even interested in this. Skeptically is like you don't really believe something. You don't trust in something. You're like, So he says, come off it. What do you think you're kidding? And he walks around, he looks at this toll booth. What am I supposed to do with this? The ticking of the clock grows loud. Tick, tock, and it gets louder. Well, what else do I have to do? So he gets into his toy car and drives up to the first sign. So the sign says, have your destination in mind. Destination is where you're going. So Milo takes this map. Now let's see, that's funny. I never heard of these places. It doesn't matter anyway. Dictionopolis, that's a weird name. I might as well go there. And so he gets in a car that also appears in his room, and he drives out of his room. And it begins to move, and he follows the map and drives off. So then clock speaks again. See what I mean? You never know how things are going to get started. But when you're bored, what you need more than anything is a rude awakening. So the alarm goes off then, very loudly, ding, 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 and the stage darkens, and that's the end of scene 1. And we go transfer to scene 2. So in scene 2, we hear like beeps and roars, and there's heavy traffic. And when the lights come up, Milo's bedroom is gone, and then all of a sudden there's a lonely road in the middle of nowhere. And that brings us to scene 2. All right? So that's that. That's the Phantom Tollbooth, Act 1, Scene 1. All right. Thank you very much. I hope this was helpful for you. And there will be more lessons, video lessons, and also live sessions provided in time. All right. Thank you, and bye.